What is up? I am back, and today is a special edition of Funliner Reacts. It's the College Marching Band edition, and obviously I went to USC, so Fight on Trojans, I had to wear my USC stuff. But anyways, we're going to take a look at some college marching bands, and it's a very different thing than drum corps, which is what this channel is mostly about. But even high school marching band, it's a totally different sphere and a different genre of marching band in general. But let's just take a look at some of these different college marching bands throughout the country, and let's see what we can see. But to start off, we got to go with the USC Trojan marching band, so let's just jump into it. Woo! We got the trumpet screamer quartet here in the front. Wow. This is very impressive. Woo! That was a clean lead part at the top there. That was insane. That was very impressive. Good opening. This is really cool. This is a little bit of a goofy walk, though. To be honest. Okay. We got a little Despacito. Yeah, the Trojan Marching Band, obviously I went to this school and I would be in the student section and people ate it up, man. Like the student section especially, they just loved it. Like they would cheer super loud for the marching band, and so that's always really cool when the student body collectively just like shows support. And they all have these sunglasses on, the classic Trojan marching band sunglasses look. Yeah, there it is. I like how they tape the sticks with the colors too. It's cool. Come on, trumpet section. They are out there. Oh my god. These dance breaks are so funny. I feel like every USC marching band show that I saw when I was there all had one of these dance sections in them. And they look a little goofy. I mean, I think it's supposed to be funny and fun and goofy too. So it's just fun. It's all about fun. And I think that's just the general thing with marching band. It's just in college, it's just about fun. They're locked there, though. Those trombones are great. Come on, trumpets. Okay. Woo! Come on. Woo! Okay. Oh, yo, wait a minute. That that literally looks like Joe. That has to be Joey. Okay, that makes sense now. Joey, he marched in the Blue Devils, actually. And I remember he was at USC. He was in the Blue Devils with me in 2017. You might recognize him from this. But yeah, that's really funny. That's definitely Joey, and that makes a lot of sense because he's an incredible screamer, and no wonder they sounded so good in the intro. But yeah, the USC Trojan Marching Band, I think they're a classic, and I think a lot of people like them, and I think they have a really distinct style and look. Obviously, it's not drum corps, and I think, let me get this out of the way for those of my viewers who are watching this that are viewing this from a drum corps lens or know about drum corps, it's a very different thing entirely. The objectives are not the same, the goals are not the same, and so yeah, when you're watching college marching band, if you watch it from a drum corps perspective, then you're not really going to get much out of it. So you have to look at it from a different lens. But from an entertainment standpoint, which is what it's all about, I mean, it's a recognizable tune, and that brass section is good. They're loud, they're powerful, and yeah, always gonna love the Trojans. But yeah, let's move on to the Ohio State Buckeyes, right? This is a legendary marching band. I think everyone really knows about this marching band, and I think a lot of the most viral marching band videos in general come from Ohio State. And so they have a reputation for being, the best marching band in the world. Obviously, in the college space, that very well may be true. But let's take a look at one of their shows. This one is about Top Gun, and so let's watch a little bit of their show. Okay, we got some drill moves here. Some rotating boxes here. This is good foot timing. These wow, big rotating boxes. Rotating and moving boxes. This is really good. The snares are moving in the back there too. They're definitely moving a lot more than I feel like college marching bands normally move. Like they're not jazz running by any means, but they're definitely moving at a quick tempo. Oh, that's cool. The hatch coming down on the fighter jet. Okay, yeah, that's sick. We got the fighter jet with all the smoke coming at the end. That is really cool. And the fighter jet takes off. Good form control too. Like these are not like super rigid linear dots. Like those are angles where it takes a little bit more of a understanding of the field of the drill. Woo, mellow line. That mellow line is crazy. Yeah, for sure. That was sick. And I think like this was definitely more demanding from a visual standpoint at least, and musically too, but from a visual standpoint, there was a lot more intricacy as opposed to the video that I watched. And by the way, obviously it's just one short clip that I watched from USC, so it's not indicative of everything, but I get why people love Ohio State because they do some intricate forms. They make, a lot of recognizable images, and a lot of those aren't necessarily the most easy thing in the world, and they're moving and playing, and that mellow line, like some of the writing in there is not the most easy thing in the world. So cool. I like this show. I like this chunk. Let's move on to the Texas Aggie Marching Band. And this one was recommended to me. And so I think this marching band has a long history just within their school. And so let's take a look. Very cool. Very cool. It's so visually pleasing. Like, it's just visually stimulating to see just how gridded it is and how every single piece just fits in. It's very, very pleasing. Very, very easy to watch.
The fighting Texas Aggie band steps out into their final performance for the 2017 regular football season.
And the foot timing is great. Like, they're spread out, there's so many of them, and they're spread out from like now 50 to the end zone, and they're all moving very well together. This kind of reminds me more of a very, very traditional style of marching band that kind of like is very rooted in like the past. But yeah, look at this block moving within itself. Very cool. Yeah, the precision that it takes, not only from a visual standpoint, but from a timing standpoint of everybody moving together, like, that's the only way these pass-throughs can happen. It's very difficult. I'm guessing they're just listening. I mean, there is a drum major at the end who's, like, doing his little baton thing or whatever, but for the most part, I think they're just listening. Moving together. Yeah, man, if you mess up, if you forget your move, one move, you're battling through a whole crowd of people to get back to your dot. So there is some stakes here in terms of making a mistake. Very cool. Yeah, the pass-through of them moving in different directions makes them look like they're moving way faster than they are. But they're moving like 8 to 5, I'm pretty sure, the entire time at this nice, easy tempo. But yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, it's impressive. Obviously, it's not like the most physically demanding, but it takes a lot of mental energy to make sure that you know exactly when your move is. And so, you know, that can be difficult, but there's definitely a lot of precision here, especially spacing wise. They do a very, very good job of the spacing in terms of your step size as you come across and hitting all those checkpoints. In general, they have very, very clean blocks, so they must just rehearse this over and over again. And you know, they're very, very good at the skill set which is required of them, which is this, you know, very rigid drill form, which is very militaristic, which is what marching band comes from in the beginning. But let's look at another chunk from this. Okay, so yeah, apparently this is like their signature move, the Texas Aggie signature marching band move. Oh yeah, that's hairy. Finding these pathways. Yeah, and some of them are getting a little bunched up. They just kind of have to make sure they know exactly what they're doing. Yeah, and with a bass drum, and I can see that they're moving their entire body to let the person in front of them pass through. But this takes a ton of coordination. Like, I can't imagine, like, from a visual instructor's perspective of, like, how to start working on something like this. With the Souzas, too. That's really crazy. Yeah, that's really impressive. That's really cool. That's really cool. It reminds me of, like, I don't know if you guys have seen those, like, Japanese marching band videos, or they're not even marching band. They're, like, Japanese, like, walking ensemble, where these guys are, like, in an indoor facility and they're just like walking at a full speed, and they're just going these really, really tight precision moves. And that reminds me of that a lot. Maybe this marching band inspired that, or I don't know which comes first, but yeah, that takes a lot of precision. And there's again, like I was saying before, it's about timing with that. Really, like, everyone has to be moving at the exact same time, and if one person is a little bit out of step, then everything falls apart for sure. So yeah, this is definitely very difficult. But let's go ahead and switch it up, and let's look at an HBCU, which is, if you don't know what that means, it's an historically black college or university. And this is a whole other genre of marching band within the college marching band sphere, which honestly, we can make an entire another video about it. But let's take a look at one of these schools. This is Jackson State University's marching band, and the style is completely different. So let's just jump into it.
Introducing the J5 drum major.
Wow. Talk about the difference between a drum major's responsibilities in drum corps and a drum major's responsibilities in a college marching band, or an HBCU specifically. Like, I could not do this. I could definitely not do this at all. The physicality of these drum majors is very impressive. And mostly the style. Like, I think that's like the main difference between this band and like other college marching bands, or just HBCU in general, is that there is so much style, like so much personality in every single move, and in the music as well. The balance on one foot. The tuning of the drums of the snares is a lot lower as well than like a drum corps sound. It's a very wet, low sound. And their bass drums almost sound like toms as well. Okay, we got a gate turn. Very cool.
The band will now engulf you with sound and precision with its signature fanfare entitled Blowing.
All right, here we go. Let's hear him play. Wow. I love the chords too. The power is insane. Wow, the mellows. Jesus. And the lead trumpets as well. Jesus Christ, that is crazy. I mean, I wish I would love to see one of these groups live, because just the power and just the raw force. It's like super raw sounding, and like obviously like in a drum corps setting, like people would say that's out of tune. But in this setting, it's not. In this setting, that's what the intended sound is supposed to be, and it sounds awesome. It's powerful, it's raw, it's a very different kind of sound, and yeah, super cool. Let's watch another section. Okay.
Hey fellas, now's the time to snuggle up with your shorty as the band slows things down.
That announcer really said, "Snuggle up with your shorty."
Arranged and conducted
Interesting.
by Associate Director of Band and Chief Arranger, Mr. Kevin Johnson.
Okay, here we go. Wow. Upbeats. Yes. Woo! Some dense chords in there. Oh! Trombones! Come on now. Just the style, the inflection of the slide, it's just so lyrical. It's really good. Come on. The drum line is in there too, just... Oh, come on, tuba line. That's crazy. Dude, the mellows are crazy. Yeah, there's so much style. Like, interpretation of the rhythmic, you know, this kind of laid back feel. They're all feeling it together. Yes, these chords are super dense, very jazzy, R&B kind of sound. Woo! Very cool, very sick. Yeah, man, it's just the difference, like the variety and depth of this, and then compared to just the other kind of college marching bands, like there's so much to unpack in all of these different schools, but. Man, yeah, just the style. It's all about the style with I feel like with these HBCU bands. It's so there's so much character and there's so much depth in what they do, and it's really really cool. And like I said before, like it's not drumcore, it's very different, but yeah, I think it's a really really cool thing. And obviously, this is like just the tip of an iceberg, like of HBCU colleges. I've seen a ton of videos too about like, especially like there's those videos where they're just like in the stands and they're just wailing at each other from either side of the stands, like they're playing to each other, and it's super impressive. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you guys have any recommendations for college marching band that you want me to take a look at, or if you have experience in a college marching band, or especially in HBCU, because that's the thing I know the least about for sure. But yeah, if you have any recommendations, leave it in the comments. But last thing too, if anyone in the comments is like, why is he constantly comparing it to drum corps? Well, this channel is about drum corps, so I'm using my background, which is a drum corps background, and I'm just kind of looking at how the differences are. But yeah, very cool. If you guys have any thoughts, leave it in the comments. But it's a little different video. I thought you guys might want to see it. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.